Mightier shit. Welcome back, everyone, to the Tequila Jimmy and the Gringa Show.
Hi, everybody.
Where we discuss everything and anything pop culture. Today, we're going to be discussing the master of horror, perhaps one of the best authors that you'll ever read, Mr. Stephen King. Mm-hmm. But before we do that, let's relieve a little bit of anxiety, a little tension. And enjoy the show. All right, so before we start today, I'm going to make a special phone call because I think we can bring someone on that's going to give us a lot of insight on Stephen King. Mm-hmm. But I got to really ask for permission first, right? So let's see if my buddy here will let us borrow him.
I'm so nervous.
Yeah, it doesn't always go well.
Oh, gosh.
Hope he's in a good mood.
Oh, no.
What do you want?
Hey, how you doing, Saiten? This is Tequila Jimmy from the Tequila Jimmy and the Gringa podcast. I kind of need a favor from you.
What's that?
I'm doing a show on Stephen King today, and I know your minions know a ton about Stephen King, and I wanted to know if I could possibly borrow one, if that's okay with you.
Stephen King, huh? I have just the perfect minion for you. I will send you Mike Saiten. I will need him back by the witching hour and not a second later. 3 a.m.
All right, I think we got him. All right, Mike, you here?
Yeah.
All right, straight out of hell,
I love it.
Mr. Mike Saiten. Mike has been one of my followers, and I follow him on Twitter. We follow each other on Twitter for many years, and it's a pleasure to have him on. I know he knows a ton about Stephen King because his tweets are a large percentage about Stephen King, especially lately. So I want you guys to give him a follow on Twitter or now X, whatever the fuck it's called. It's at MYKSAITEN. You're going to enjoy his tweets, I promise you. I do on the daily. He's got a very funky sense of humor. And it's right up your alley. Trust me. If you follow my shit, you're going to like him.
Hi, Mr. Satan.
Hello.
All right, Mike. So it's a pleasure to have you on, buddy. We're talking about Stephen King, as you know. So before we start talking about his work, I think we should get a little history from our historian here, the Gringa, who is
Historian,
a solid
AKA,
researcher.
AKA the best Googler ever.
The bomb Googler.
Yeah, so no, I know this is silly, but yeah, Stephen King, the one thing I liked to find out about him, that he is a Virgo. He is a Virgo.
Yay.
So I don't know why that's so great to me because I am a Virgo myself. I know, that's so
That's
silly.
why you like it so much.
So silly. Yeah, he was born in September 21st, 1947 in Portland, Maine. And in Maine, of course, that's where all his books take place, up in the northeastern Maine, North England area.
Yeah.
And
Castle Rock is his fictionary town.
Castle Rock. Oh, yeah. I see that in a lot of the books and a lot of the movies. Yeah. Anyways, he started writing when he was like 6 years old. He would take like the comic books and copy the panels and like write his own story, like kind of like a film story kind of thing. Anyways,
That's interesting.
but I know that I think Mike had said he read his autobiography. I think is that right?
Yeah, I think so. You said it.
It's Stephen King on writing. It's about half autobiography, and the rest is about writing.
Nice.
Wow, that's awesome. And how's the writing half of it? Is it did it help you at all? Because don't you get into writing as well?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's pretty awesome. It gives you like the things you wouldn't learn in an English class.
Oh,
Just like technique and stuff like that.
that's awesome.
The way he prefers to do things, and
Yeah,
just another way.
he's got a really unique way of writing. Like he makes you feel like,
You
I don't
can
know.
see.
Like it's a person. Like it's very. It's like
Very
it's informal
descriptive.
yet super formal. It doesn't. I don't
It's
know.
very, very descriptive. Like you can
Yes.
you can see specifically. He really, really gets that imagination going for you, so you can picture exactly what he's trying to say in so many adjectives,
Yeah.
big words, lots of words.
Yeah. So of course Stephen King is responsible for tons and tons of literary work which have been made films.
Like
And
his first movie was Carrie, which was his first book.
so speaking of that, let's talk a little bit about the first time that you either read a Stephen King book or saw a movie.
Yeah, Mike, go ahead.
The first book I read was Misery. I found it at Goodwill for $1.
Oh, nice.
And I finished my 40th book today. That was about maybe 2 years ago.
What book
And
was that?
Today I finished Gerald's Game.
You know, I
was
saw
when
the
finished
movie
it.
and I saw the movie. I haven't read the book, but I saw the movie like the day it came out on Netflix. I think it's a Netflix movie. And I have very little recollection. I know that it's about a lady whose husband dies while they're having sex and she's like handcuffed to a bed, right? Or something like that.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But
And,
remind me where
I
the
think
Gerald's Game part comes in. Like who's Gerald?
Gerald is the husband.
The guy who
He's a
died?
lawyer. Yeah.
Oh.
And he's dead through almost the whole book. But
And isn't he alive at the
game
end or
is
something like that?
No.
Oh, okay.
But maybe in the movie. I haven't seen the movie. But yeah, in the book, his game is handcuffing her to the bed.
Okay.
It's the only
That's
way
the
he can
game.
get it up.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh. So he's like a freak.
Right. So the book
Yeah.
basically is about her, like she loses her mind and shit while she's handcuffed, right? Or something like that?
Yeah, she starts hearing voices from her past and stuff telling her what to do. And she's
Oh.
trapped on the bed for quite a while, and there ends up being a dog that comes to chew on Gerald while he's dead.
Oh, yes. That scene, I totally
A
remember
guy
that.
may or may not be in the bedroom.
Yeah. Yes,
watching
yes.
her, but not helping.
Yeah. The
And,
movie, I got to watch the movie
it's
again.
pretty
It was
weird, but it was pretty awesome. I really liked it.
Yeah, the movie was great. I remember watching it and really liking it, but it's one of those things that I just remember tidbits of because it was a few years ago now that I saw it, and I've only seen it once the day it came out.
That's a lot of books to be reading. 40 books to date.
Yeah, that is a lot of books, man. Wow, and they're not short books for the
No.
most part.
Mm-mm.
So, did you read Carrie, his first book?
I did, yeah. That was actually the second book that I read.
Oh,
The second
nice.
Stephen King book that I read.
So it's Misery and then Carrie.
Yeah.
Those are two. Those are
Yeah,
great.
Misery was my first Stephen King book as well. The first book I ever read, and like it was the book. Right, I read it like 2 weeks before the movie came out, and I remember the book had the cover of the movie poster, the snowy cabin. You know.
Oh yeah.
And the book. That's how I knew that the movie was coming out. It was like bestseller and with a new film coming soon or whatever. So I read it like a couple of weeks before the movie came out, and I really liked that book. And that's when I got infatuated with his work. What about you?
Me, I didn't. Confession. I don't think I've read any Stephen King books.
What?
Oh, no. I lied. I read The Dark Half. I think that was the only Stephen King book I've read.
Really? And you're
Yeah.
right? You only even run Stephen King
I
books?
think so.
Holy shit.
Because every single time I talk about a movie, I'm like, I can't recall the book.
Really?
But in The Dark Half, I can recall the entire book in my head.
Wow.
So I think, The Dark Half
The
is
Dark
the
Half
only-
is one of those. Have you read The Dark Half, Mike?
I have not.
You
That's
have
one
not?
of them that I haven't read yet.
Oh man, that's the second Stephen King book I read was The Dark Half.
Mm-hmm.
And that book stuck with me. And it was years before there was even a movie in the works or anything like that.
Yeah.
Remember when I saw that there was a movie coming out, I was like, wow, I'm dying to see this just to see if I imagined this in my head correctly.
And 100% we did.
And we did, yeah, because it's that type of book that you're reading and it's so fucking crazy. Like, I don't want to give you any spoilers. but-
I'll give a spoiler.
The brain part, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
brain with
yeah.
the teeth.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
in the beginning of the movie, and this is the only thing I'll
Yes.
tell you about the book.
I saw it perfectly in my head.
Not movie, the book. I don't.
both.
Did they show that in the movie too?
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I can't remember the movie. too. But in the book, they're doing surgery on the main character, Thad Beaumont, and they find like teeth and an eyeball in his brain.
And when I read it and when I saw the movie portrayed exactly what I saw
Yeah.
in my head.
Exactly.
It's
It's just one of those books you're going to enjoy because it's so out there, you know, the way that he writes. But yeah, I love that movie and I love that book too. What about movies? What's the first movie you saw?
My first movie, I think I saw. I can't remember, but it's because there's so many of them. But I do believe the first movie I ever saw was Carrie.
Carrie, really?
Yes,
Oh.
I can't think of
I saw
anything
that
else.
later.
Yeah, and because my mom, she's a big Stephen King fan, and she read tons and tons and tons of his books. But she always watched the movies, and I remember seeing Carrie, Christine, and Creepshow all the time, a lot.
Yeah, Creepshow a lot. What about you, Mike? Movie wise,
I think Creepshow was the first one I saw.
Oh, it's so good.
Creepshow. Yeah,
think.
I think that's the first one I have a memory of seeing is Creepshow. I think,
Yeah,
but
that's
Children of the Corn. Sorry, it is Children of the Corn because Children of the Corn I was infatuated with when I was young. And I still am.
Oh, the special effects are so bad.
Yeah, no,
in
and
that
Children
movie.
of the Corn was just it. To
So
this day,
good,
I
though.
watch it. Like, how often do I watch that movie? At least
At
you put that thing on like all the time.
all the time, at least once a month.
Yeah, it's just an awesome movie, and the whole aspect of children taking out the town, taking all the adults out.
Yeah, just that movie is great because it starts out like hardcore, just slaughter right off the bat.
Yeah, it
There's
was-
no time, like no story leading up. It was just boom.
I visited Whiting, Iowa, which is where the town was where they filmed it.
Mm-hmm. You said it was exactly
dude,
the
when
same.
I tell you that it frickin' feels like the Children of the Corn are gonna come out from behind the building. It really is identical, man. And
Oh yeah, Mike. He said the yellow pole in
Yeah.
the middle of the town is still there.
yeah. If you go on my other channel, Mike, you can see I did a filming location video on that, and it's
I
like
didn't catch that one. Yeah,
yeah,
check that out.
it was years ago, so I didn't know what the fuck I
And
was
it's
doing yet.
the
But
same exact. Yeah, they left it the same exact way.
there's
as in
one
the
gas
movie.
station, and everything is barren, and no businesses were open that day I was there. And I was like, holy shit, this really feels like Malachi is going to pop out of here any fucking moment now, or Isaac.
Oh hell no! They got all those Christian stations on the
bringer of this
radio.
word. Yeah, man, that shit, it's still the same. I want to go back to that.
I'll go with you.
Yeah, I want to do it. I want to
Yeah.
do like a better video there. I also went to the house, Job's house. you
Yeah.
know, Sarah and Job's house. Or I don't know if it was her house, but it was the house they were playing Monopoly in.
That's so cool.
I went to that house too. Yeah, that was an awesome trip. Anyway, let's move along to the
Well,
next.
I know that speaking of filming locations, one, I did not know that Stephen King did. One of the short stories was the Shawshank Redemption.
Yes, I was yesterday years old when I found that out.
Yeah, yesterday years old. And I know somebody who happens to live near the Shawshank Redemption prison.
I live right there. I think it's like 7 miles.
Wow, can you see it like from the street and from the road, or is it like
Yeah, I see it a couple times a week.
Yeah, because the prisons here in Florida, the prisons are like you have to go through like a big open field before you can even see the building, and usually that's restricted. Not the regular like county jails, but like the big prisons, So you can't even see them from the highway or anything like that.
Oh my God, that's crazy. And you pass it
This one,
twice
the
a
way
week.
it is now
Mm-hmm.
is pretty cool. It's the old prison, the old Ohio State Reformatory, sits empty, and you can tour it and everything.
Oh, that's awesome.
And you can take all the pictures you want, unless you get to the back where the windows are, because back there you can see the new Ohio State Reformatory. They don't want you taking pictures out
Yeah,
there.
they don't want you
in the
taking
yard
pictures of that.
where the guys are at and stuff.
But that's
So
pretty
they're
sick.
actually keeping
Have you
prisoners
been there?
back there? But when I was a kid,
Mhm.
yeah, a few times.
Oh, nice.
And when I was a kid, there were prisoners in the castle-looking big stone
Oh.
Shawshank Redemption prison.
Oh,
But now that's all been cleaned out, and they've all been moved back into the new prison.
that's so cool. Do they have any kind of like movie relics there?
Yeah, there's plenty actually. They have the actual tunnel that Andy Dufresne crawled through.
Ooh, the one that
It's-
was filled with
it's up-
poo poo. It was filled with caca.
It's
It was.
actually up on wheels.
Oh.
And built on a wooden frame, so you can just go and look through it.
Ooh.
And they have the beam where Brooks hung himself in the
Oh,
Oh,
that's
uh,
awesome.
apartment, hotel, whatever.
Wow.
The beam is there that says Brooks was here.
You're 7 miles
But
from
the
it. That's pretty
room
sick.
that they filmed that in was actually in the Bisman building in Mansfield, the next town
So
over.
cool.
You need to do a
But the
filming
beam
location
itself is
video.
Yes.
Yeah, I should.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
For
That
sure.
would be
I'd be all over that
wild.
shit. I'd totally watch that.
Oh my gosh. Well, if we ever have to go out there, we'd have to go and have him be the tour guide at the Shawshank Redemption for us.
Definitely, that'd be awesome.
Since we're all fans of Creepshow, why don't we talk a little bit about that?
Oh, yeah, like
because I'm a humongous. As you can see by my shirt.
yes, he's got the
I got
Creepshow
the
shirt
fucking
on.
sick Creepshow shirt on.
And it's got all the guys. Actually, he's got a button-up shirt, and then it has like a comic
that one's cool.
book.
Why didn't you remind me to wear that?
I
one?
don't know why you
I
didn't.
have a really cool Creepshow shirt. Now I just
Yeah,
remembered.
it's a
Is it here?
button-up. It's a collared shirt, black, and it has like little comic book
Yeah, they're
features.
it's like
of
comic
each.
book art, and it's like at the raft.
No.
It's not
the
the raft.
first one.
Yeah, it's only the first
It's
one.
they're creeping up on us.
Because I have a raft shirt too that
Yeah.
has comic book art.
They're creeping up. They're creeping up on you. The lonesome death of Jordy
Verrill. Yeah.
Verrill.
Yeah. Something to tide you over.
The crate. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got all of them on there.
Yeah,
And
it's a
the
cool,
Father's
cool
Day.
shirt.
It's a very cool shirt. And it's
Yeah.
like I know it's such a dork, but it's European cut, so it looks really nice on you.
I know this is going to sound funny, but I'm a bigger fan of Creepshow 2 than I am of Creepshow 1, even though Creepshow 1's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But Creepshow 2, I just have a lot of memories of watching that because it was like around the time where I was allowed to ride my bike to the video store. And then my dad told the guy, don't worry, you can rent rated R. He can rent rated R shit.
Nice.
So I was a little kid, little shit, riding to the video store.
With your little note from your dad.
Yeah, and then I saw Creepshow 2 and I went back like every week and I rented it again and again
That's
and again
awesome.
and again. So I saw it a million times and it just like became like, the old Chief Woodenhead and all those stories are just amazing to me.
Yeah, the raft.
Well, do you like 1 or 2 better, Mike? 1 probably, right?
Yeah.
I love 2, but I like 1 better.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
Me
I mean
too.
everybody does. I know it's just weird. I love 1, but and it only has 3 stories. The second one too, which the first one has 5, right? 5, 5. Yeah, it's 5. Yeah, the roach, the crate.
No, they're creeping up on you. What? Father's Day, tied you over. The lonesome death of Jerry Verrill. The crate. Yeah, 5.
Yeah, 5.
Which
Yeah,
one
so,
is your favorite, Mike?
of those stories?
Probably the crate.
The crate's your favorite? Oh,
Oh,
nice.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It's so crazy. Okay, in the we have the DVD and the part where what's her face? I can't think of her name right
Adrian Barbeau.
now. Adrian Barbeau. She says that Emily Post. She's like, Emily Post is such a. She says crotch.
Crotch?
Yeah,
Is that what she says?
in the DVD, but. When I was a kid, and you could see it, it's dubbed.
She
You
said
could see-
cunt.
yeah, she said the C-U-N-T word. And I don't know why, but in the DVD, they dubbed
Yeah,
it.
that's not like a dub. It's like a real DVD. I don't know why they took that out.
I don't know, but I
And you
loved
can
it.
see it in her lips too. If you watch the movie,
She
you can
says-
see it in her lips.
She says C-U-N-T.
Yeah, she does. Totally, 100%. Like, there's no way she said crotch. But she said, was that the word they used? Crotch?
Yeah, she's a real crotch, I think she says.
That
Yeah.
would be funny if that was what she'd said, though.
I know, right? Like, and then we're thinking for all of our, yeah, that is great. My, I had to look it up. They're creeping up on you because that's the last story. So I always, when I was a kid and even an adult, I would just turn it off at that point because that's the one with all the roaches and that freaks me out and it makes me itch and then I just can't sleep in bed and I just get the total creeps. But this one over here, Tequila Jimmy over here, always makes me watch it. And I
Yeah.
literally watch it with my head underneath the covers. It skeeves me to the nth degree.
It's not
You
that
said a lot of those roaches got away, too. They couldn't wrangle them back up.
Really?
They were just running around breeding. Yeah.
I could just imagine, man.
They were real.
Holy shit! Of course, they look real.
Oh my God! I get
Yeah,
the
you can tell when
heebie-jeebies.
they did the that rubber or whatever latex
Yes.
face of the old guy with
Tom
the roaches.
Savini.
Tom
He
Savini,
did
yeah.
all the special effects in
That's
that.
right.
He is. I'm
Savini.
sorry. Just a side note. Tom Savini is my favorite special effects
Of
artist
course.
of all time.
yeah, yeah.
He's just amazing.
He's
And
the originator of all
I
of
hate
all the
CGI.
original everything that is used in horror today when they're not using CGI. He had something to do with creating it.
I know. I just had to do that sidebar there. God.
He's amazing.
Yeah, because he created Fluffy.
Yeah, he also made that really ugly Jason, the kid that came out of the lake. You know?
Yeah, and Freddy. Or I'm not Freddy. Friday the 13th, the
original,
first
yeah,
one.
when he pops out.
Yeah.
That was his like sculpt. That's crazy on
Gotta
Ari
love that
Lehman.
guy. Sorry, going a little tangent.
Yeah, sorry about
I
that.
have to do that.
Sorry, guys. We get a little excited.
Get a little excited. Yeah, I think Stephen King was just he put out there were so many movies like in the 80s.
Yeah, so
you
many.
know.
Cujo.
With Dee Wallace.
Dee Wallace was
You know
super
what?
nice too.
Dee Wallace was one of like everybody's mother
Yeah.
in the 80s. You know,
really
she was
was.
the
She's awesome. I've met her a few times.
You
Me too.
have?
Yeah. She sat next to me.
Oh, we saw her. I did see
You did
her.
see her.
She's beautiful.
Yeah,
She's
she's
beautiful.
super,
I
really.
saw her about 2 years
And the
ago.
nicest person too.
Yes.
And she sat next to me at breakfast one time with, ironically enough, this is going to sound hilarious when I tell you who she was eating with. She was eating with George the Animal Steel from the WWF.
That's so random.
Yeah, it's fucking random as hell, but it was because it was a con and he was there and she was there. So it was like a breakfast at the hotel.
Okay, makes
And they
sense.
sat at a table. And I'm like, this is a fucking, and I think I have a picture of
That's great. She's gorgeous. She's
Yeah,
still
she's
gorgeous
super
as an
nice,
older
too.
woman. Where did you meet her at, Mike?
Cinema Wasteland in
Oh, I know Cinema Wasteland. I know where that is.
it's close to Cleveland.
Yeah.
The town just escaped me.
That's
But,
okay. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Was
I've
it?
been there quite a few times, and she was there a lot.
Oh, nice.
She was there for the Hills Have Eyes reunion, and I had her and Michael Berryman sign my.
That's
nice.
right. She was in that movie too.
I've met Michael Berryman too. He's pretty cool.
Oh, she's such a
Yeah,
wonderful.
he's really cool. I spent most of a Sunday with him. He's a really good guy.
Really nice guy. Really nice, down to earth guy. I mean, there's some of these people, a lot of these old horror actors are like really nice to their fans, unlike some of the other people that, that
Oh yeah, I have to bring it up again.
No,
What's his name?
Yeah,
Dreyfus.
once you get into going to the cons and stuff, actually enjoy their fans. If
Yeah.
if it's a guy you don't usually see at a convention,
it's a
and
money
they
grab.
might be at their first convention or whatever, they might be an asshole because they're not used to it. But
Yeah, and they're not even
like you
care.
said, those old actors, they know
Yeah.
who's buttering their bread.
Yeah, I mean, the last con we went to had some pretty big names. It had Kiefer Sutherland and
Oh,
Lou
yeah.
Diamond Phillips was there.
Yeah, Lou Diamond Phillips looks great.
Yeah, no, he looks
looks-
young. He still looks young. And Kiefer Sutherland was a little,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Speaking of Kiefer Sutherland, Stand By Me.
Oh,
There we
God,
go.
I love that movie.
That was another Stephen King movie.
That's a masterpiece right there.
And
The Body. Was
The
the name of
Body
story.
was the name. And
You remember what book that was in, Mike? The Body? Is it Night
Is
Shift?
that in Skeleton Crew? I think
Oh, the
that's-
Skeleton Crew.
I think
that's
was
what we
it
were
the
saying.
I don't know if I ever read the Skeleton Crew, so I want to say it was a Night Shift because I did read that, and I did read that story.
Well, they were going
Either
to
that
come out.
or Four Past Midnight was another one that had a bunch of short stories.
The
I haven't
Stand.
read Four Past Midnight, but I've read The Body, so
So you
Nice.
probably I want to say it's a
Wasn't
Night Shift because I have never read the Skeleton Crew, so I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong though.
That's so odd. Well,
But I have read it.
Now the movie was actually supposed to be called The Body, and I know that there's a story behind it. What's what?
it
Go
was,
ahead.
It became Stand By Me because Kiefer Sutherland was teaching River Phoenix on set how to play Stand By Me on the guitar, and
Oh,
Rob Reiner heard him, and the director, and he said that he hadn't heard that song in 20 years, and he changed the name while they were working on it to Stand By Me.
wow.
That's such a
cool
great fun
story.
fact.
Yeah, that is a really good fun fact. I had no idea.
Yeah, The Body's not in Night Shift, so it must be in Skeleton Crew.
Oh,
That's the
wow,
only
though,
other-
I know I've read it. Then I must have read it. The Skeleton. I know
Mm-hmm.
I've read it because I remember reading The Body on an airplane.
I know there's so many short stories that Stephen King has done.
Yeah,
That's a really good story, though. I mean,
it really
just by
is.
itself.
Yeah, it's an amazing story. And
Mm-hmm.
Children of the Corn also was Children of the Corn also in a book beforehand or
It's in Night Shift.
Night Shift? Okay,
Children of the Corn's in Night Shift.
yeah.
That's so fun.
I got my Night Shift right here, and the cover is the Children of the Corn cover because
Oh.
it must have came out when the movie came out.
Oh man,
It has 8 pages of film scenes.
I'm actually gonna read Night Shift all over again. I want to read that book.
Yeah, we
from
should read it
cover-
together.
from cover to cover. You want me to read it to you like a bedtime story?
I do. I want you to read it to me every single night. That would be so nice. And then, of course, I'll be scared like every single night when it's all the lights are off. And yeah, I'll be scared in bed like I always am.
What did you think of The Lawnmower Man? Another one of Stephen King's famous.
I thought it was a really weird story, and the movie has absolutely nothing to do with it.
Yeah, the movie. Well, that's one of those movies I was super fucking excited to go to the movie theater and see, like beyond excited, because the trailers made it look great, and I walked out of there like confused as fuck as to what I just seen.
Yeah, like what the hell was that? But then the story, I don't know if the story would have made a very good movie either, because it's just a guy that comes over to mow his lawn, but he doesn't bring a lawnmower, and he just takes off all his clothes and starts eating all the grass. And I think he eats the guy after he eats all the grass. And that's
That would be
about it to the story.
That would be a great cartoon,
Oh my God,
you
yeah,
know, but
for
I don't
real.
know about a
Sounds
movie.
like a cartoon when you read it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to think because I haven't seen that movie, and I was like, and like you were saying, like, why? I can't believe you haven't seen that movie. And I think
The
probably,
Lawnmower Man?
yeah, and I think probably because my parents saw it and didn't like it.
Nobody really
You
liked
know
that
what I
movie.
mean? So I
Like,
probably
it
just
didn't do-
like
I know that everybody I ever
I
talked
don't
to.
think it was a terrible movie. It just had
Mhm.
nothing to do with the story.
Yeah.
And then the video game that came out on Sega Genesis
Yeah.
was as far removed from the story and the movie as anything else. It was
I'm
like, yeah,
actually
I guess
curious
just do
as
whatever the
fuck
hell you
about
want
that.
with
I
this.
gotta like YouTube that game. I've never even.
I
I
wonder
never
if
even
the
knew they made a
angry-
Lawnmower
I
Man
wonder
for
if the-
Genesis, and I
It's
was
hard
big
as
into the
hell, but
Genesis.
It's pretty cool.
I wonder if the angry video nerd.
The angry video game nerd did that. Maybe.
I wonder. We have to look that up. That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of others movies. I know I always like to talk about these movies because, you know, they were such part, I think, a part of our childhood. You know, with Cat's Eye. I saw Cat's Eye
Yeah, me
about
too.
50 million
That one I
times
saw like on HBO
when I
a
was a
lot.
kid, and Pet
Yeah, that's what I saw,
Cemetery.
probably.
Yes, and I have to watch it again.
Pet
because
Cemetery was another one that I saw in the movie theater. Very young.
There,
and-
Silver Bullet with that
Yeah.
crazy Gary. What's his name? With the
Gary
big,
Busey.
Yeah.
Gary
and
Busey
Corey
with the
Haim, yeah.
with the big old teeth. He's
Yeah.
such a
He's a fucking
weirdo.
whack job.
He is so bizarre.
He's really fucking insane.
Yeah, and then again in the 90s, you know, Stephen King was just pumping out movies again because in the 90s is when Graveyard Shift came out and
Yeah.
Misery
Misery.
and It.
It was let's focus on it a little. And Misery too. I want to talk about both of those.
Was it the 90s? That seems like the 80s to me.
No, it's 1990.
1990.
Exactly. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Was it?
straight up 1990.
Yeah, you
I
don't want to
know.
go up against the master Googler.
I know, the master Googler.
Oh, no. I
Surrender.
remember I watched it when it was actually on the first time. In
Yes.
The series.
Yeah, Misery. I
So,
remember.
yeah, if it was 1990, that would make sense that it seemed like the 80s to me.
Oh, right.
I hear you. Yeah, I remember Misery was out with Home Alone and Terminator simply because I snuck into it.
Yes.
After watching the other ones, you know, I think I paid for Terminator 2, and then I spent the whole day at the theater. My parents would just drop me off and be like, "Get lost for the whole day. I don't want to see you." So I'd just be at the theater and I jumped from movie to movie. And back then, I don't know how it is now, but back then they were like, "Yeah, who cares?" They knew you were doing it. I mean, I got to the movies at noon, and I'd
do
leave.
that now here.
Yeah.
What's that?
They do
You
that.
could basically do that now here. After
I'm
you watch
sure.
a movie, just don't leave. Just
Yes.
go to another cinema and
Yeah.
sit down.
Yeah, exactly. No, well,
Yes.
over here, a lot of the seats are like reserved now. So
Oh, yeah, that's
remember,
right.
like
yeah, we have to reserve our seats.
See, so
weird.
they're like these really comfy sofa seats, and you know, like a lot of there's very few theaters that don't have that anymore.
We have to reserve it early. I remember it on TV.
Oh, it was amazing.
And you know, and that's another one where I had no idea Tim Curry was the
Pennywise?
Yeah, Pennywise. When I was a kid, you know, because
I
knew Tim Curry was, you know, for me, Annie. He was
Clue.
an
For me, it was Clue.
Annie
It was all
and
about
Clue.
and Rocky Horror Picture
You
Show.
know, so I was like, you know, later on in life, I found out that he was Pennywise, and he did such an amazing
yeah. He
job.
killed it.
Oh, John Ritter.
John
That's
Ritter.
right.
That's
Remember
right.
we were going through this
And Harry from Night Court, right?
Harry from Night Court and John Boy.
Yeah.
Who else was in that?
What's his name? Who is it? Tim Williams?
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
Something, Venus
Yes.
Flytrap from WKRP.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is
John
his
Boy from
name.
the Waltons.
Yeah.
That was such a great cast, and it was just
Great
such a
cast, yeah.
the-
And
the special effects were
the
silly,
remake
but-
was pretty fucking great too.
Yeah, like I said, I only watched the first part of the remake
you haven't seen
because
the
because the Pennywise, I just kind of got, I don't know, I got turned off by Pennywise, and I was just like, meh.
Why?
You can't really do Tim Curry to me, and I just.
But he wasn't trying to do Tim Curry. Bill
I
Skarsgård
know.
Skarsgård did.
I'm weird. You know how I am about remakes. I don't
Yeah,
know.
no, but this one was good. I'm the first one to tell you if a remake's a piece of shit, and this one was good. Like, I'm not a big fan of remakes either.
After I
at all.
watched the first part of it, I watched the original. I just popped in the original.
Yeah, the
I'm like,
original,
"Boy."
the original is amazing. Like, I'll tell you one remake that you don't want to waste your time on. For, in my opinion, I don't know what Mike would think of it, but it was The Stand. So they, you got the original miniseries with like Gary Sinise.
Yes.
Amazing. M.O.E. That was a great. I could sit there and watch that all day.
Yeah, that's a great book. I've
But
always
I
heard.
was not a big fan of what they did with the remake. Did you watch that, Mike?
I haven't seen the remake. I've only seen that original miniseries.
Yeah, the remake is just
caca.
It's shit. Yeah, like a fucking waste of time.
Speaking of remakes, and okay, so The Shining. Everybody knows The Shining. You know, Jack Nicholson, Shelley Duvall, all that stuff. But if you actually read the book, and now I think I've read The Shining because when I watched, yes, okay, so I did read The Shining because when I saw the
How
miniseries,
can you not remember reading the fucking Shining?
because like I said, once I think of the movie, then it's like, oh, I see it in my head like I did
I
in
hear you, yeah. That makes sense.
So the miniseries with Rebecca De Mornay and like I said, the guy from Wings.
Yeah.
I remember watching that, and when I watched it,
good.
was
I do remember
exactly
it
like
being
my
good.
head.
Steven Weber, I think that's his name.
Steven Weber. That's
Did you see
it.
that one, Mike?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that many?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
That was a lot more
awesome.
accurate, that's for sure. And I think Stephen King was a lot happier with it than he
Yeah,
did.
he says he is.
He hated Kubrick's version.
Oh yeah, there was a story about Kubrick and the Volkswagen. I forget.
Yeah, Kubrick screwed with him on it with the in the book the Volkswagen's red that they drive to the hotel.
Oh, okay.
And in Kubrick's The Shining, he makes the Volkswagen yellow. And then when they get up into the mountains and the roads get all snowy, there's a wrecked out red Volkswagen by a snowplow.
Oh,
So
wow.
he's like, screw you, I'm going to make whatever I want.
Yeah, exactly. Well, The Shining ends with the hotel on fire, and he decided, fuck you, I'm ending it with it freezing.
Yeah. It was like just complete opposite.
The complete opposite of what Stephen King. It's almost like he did it to spite him or something. I
Which
don't know.
is
It's like
so
you're taking his
odd.
work and fucking with it. Even though I gotta say, I really do like The Shining, the original movie, and I like Jack Nicholson's
Oh,
performance.
I do too, yeah. I like both.
But the backstory, Stephen or what's his name, Stanley Kubrick, like totally screwed Shelley Duvall's head up big time.
Really? I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
During the scene where she was swinging the bat, she's so tired. You see her just physically exhausted in the movie. It's because Stanley Kubrick kept going, do it again, do it again, do it again.
Yeah, they said he would shoot some scenes like that one like 52 times just to screw with them and get them wore out or get her to cry or whatever.
Yeah.
But I saw an interview with her fairly recently because she just put out a movie, some kind of low budget movie.
Yeah.
Shelley
not too
Duvall,
long
really?
ago.
She looks.
Yeah.
I saw like something about her, like I think it was a YouTube video like a year ago, and she looked like a little bit bananas. You know what I mean? Just a little bit.
I think she went through a time where she was kind of and she's kind of chilled back out now.
cool. Nice.
I would love to see a new movie.
She tells people it wasn't as bad as people say it was on the set of The Shining.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to
But
know.
yeah, they do say that he was just brutal on them.
Yeah.
Probably was. He probably treated Nicholson better than he did her.
Oh yeah. Well, Nicholson wouldn't put up with his shit, I'm sure.
Misogyny in Hollywood.
He was already like, you want me, you're gonna get what you get.
Yeah, and if you did read The Shining, you know that Jack Nicholson was like the exact opposite of a character you would pick for Jack Torrance.
Yeah, he wasn't a lot like him. I
No.
read The Shining and Doctor Sleep back to back. So
Really? Back to back?
kinda-
I read Dr. Sleep
Yeah.
like when it came out. Like really, like almost the first week it came out, I read Dr. Sleep also. That's probably, I think that
While
might
I was
be.
reading The Shining, I ordered it. I was like, I got to read that because I know it's about Danny.
That might
Yeah.
actually be the last Stephen King book I read in order of release. Was Dr. Sleep. I think I haven't read anything he's released since that.
I like the carpet in The Shining. I know that's like a little bit out there. I'm sorry. I just, I'm thinking I'm just speaking what's on my mind, but I love the carpet in The Shining.
I know what inspired him to write The Shining. One of his kids, he was doing a manuscript, and one of his kids came with a crayon and started writing all over the manuscript, and like I love you, Daddy, and the stick figures and all this shit. And which is why the kid writes red rum with the crayon and stuff like that. But he says that day he came up with, he wanted to kill his kid. He's like, he literally is like, the kid was like doing something really nice for him, and he had the opposite feeling when he saw it. Like he's like, I'm supposed to feel good about this because he's writing "I love you" and little stick figures all over this shit, but it's my manuscript that I've worked so hard on, and I want to fucking kill this kid.
I know part of his inspiration for it was the Stanley Hotel where he stayed.
Yeah.
Which is actually the hotel they use in the miniseries that Mick Garris directed.
Yeah.
And it's way different than the hotel in
in the movie.
Kubrick's
In Kubrick's version.
Yeah.
I do. I love the
That
miniseries.
hotel's beautiful though.
If you can, if
It
anybody,
caught fire like a few years ago.
Yes,
no,
it did.
not even a few years ago. A few months ago. When it was a few years ago. It was very recent. There was a
Yeah, it
fire.
was.
Yeah, it was somewhat recent. I remember reading about that.
I like the old. I love his stories when it comes to like haunted places. Like with The Shining was a haunted hotel.
No,
Rose Red. That's why I bring it up.
I love Rose Red.
Yes.
Oh man, it's like a really good. I'm a huge fan of haunting movies and paranormal movies, stuff that is realistic. So the Rose Red was just so cool. Like what they did, where they had all these people with these special powers, and they take them to this house that is that is alive.
Yeah, the house that's alive.
And the miniseries was amazing too.
It was so.
Did you watch that miniseries, Mike?
I did not. I haven't read the book either.
Oh, you dude, Rose Red's another one you don't want to miss out for
That's
sure.
a
Like that
good
should be
one.
like on your next.
I'll get to them all eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rose Red is imagine like
I believe
what's
Rose
something
Red is my mom's favorite Stephen King book.
It's an amazing book.
Yeah.
Amazing book. And I read that one, and that's what like it was. I read it again before the movie simply because I found out what it was about, and it's that book that once you start reading it, all you want to do is go back home and start reading it, or reading it. Read it as soon as you can. You could be anywhere. It's that type of book that you don't want to leave the story.
My when we watched it and everything, because I love getting scared, but I'm very. I'm terrified of the dark. Like I love scary movies. I love everything horror, but I am totally terrified of the dark. And when we watch
hear any little noise,
any noise, I freak out. So when we watched,
I love fucking with you.
When we watched Rose Red because it's a miniseries. So I think it was about 2 or 3 nights we watched it, and for 2 or 3 nights in a row, I would not leave the bedroom. I'm like, you do, you go do the temperature, you go do that. I would. I was terrified in my own. In this place, it's terrified.
It's just it's a awesome
so scary.
classic haunting movie where Rose Red is a house that is alive, and there's a huge history behind it. I'm not gonna give you any info because you haven't read it or seen the movie, so it's one of those things I do not want to ruin in any way for you. But just it's a house that's alive, and the whole premise of the movie is there's this lady. It's a college professor.
A college professor.
Yeah, she's like a college professor.
The lady
and she
from,
gathers a group of people with different psychic abilities.
Different psychic abilities.
Different ones. Like some can talk to the dead. Some can, they can move things, can telekinesis, stuff like that.
And she brings them there so they can stir up the house.
Right. So they want to wake the house up because the house has been dormant. So she takes all these people that are like prone to shit attaching to themselves to them.
Good.
Yeah, it's a great read, man. So that's another one. What's the next one on your list, Mike, for reading?
I actually started the Tommy Knockers today.
Oh, you did?
I read that one. I read that years ago. I read that.
I got about 100 pages into it. But
so what do you think?
Like there's still plenty to go.
Yeah. Oh, it's huge. It's a huge.
Awesome. He's already in the book. He's already a guy in the book has already met the main character from The Talisman.
No shit.
So
that's awesome.
The story's crossing over again.
Yeah.
He ends up at the same resort that the kid starts out at, living with his mom, and he's looking for a payphone. Happens to meet the kid.
Isn't that crazy how they all tie in, like in books from years ago, like that? It's just insane.
I love finding that in all of them.
Yeah, I want to read the Dark Tower series.
Yeah, definitely should.
Yeah, I know that you've read it. What are your what's your whole take on it? On the whole Dark Tower series.
Probably my favorite thing I've ever read. The whole Dark Tower series, definitely.
Did you read them all back to back, or did you like skip around?
Yeah, I started. Since I started so late reading these books, they were actually all out before I started reading them. Correct. So I could read them. I read The Gunslinger, and then I read Christine because I found that at Goodwill for $1.
Oh,
okay.
And then I read the rest of the Dark Tower books.
So you have, was it The Gunslinger? The Drawing of the Three.
Yeah.
The Wastelands, Wizard in the Glass, The Wind Through the Keyhole, Wolves of Calla. Is it Calla? Songs of Susanna. And it's funny that, they all have names.
So these are all books. These are all different books.
All the Dark Tower series, all their names. And then you have the Dark Tower 7. I found that funny.
Because it's the one where he makes... That's the one where he makes it to the Dark Tower. That's why it's the Dark Tower.
Oh, see, I never read
And
these books.
what exactly is the Dark Tower?
It's I don't really want to spoil it, but it's kind of
give me a diet version.
It's like time.
Okay.
It's like where he starts out in the Gunslinger is basically where he's going to end up in the tower.
Oh, cool.
So now I gotta fucking pick these books up.
It's everything's a wheel.
You know what? After doing this show, I'm gonna be reading Stephen King a lot. I think.
Yeah, the Dark Tower series is definitely awesome. And it's a lot of books, and some of them are big, but it goes quick. And after you read Dark Tower, the last book, they give him a book in that book that's called Insomnia, which is the next book in the Dark Tower series, if you want to look at it that way.
Okay.
He doesn't read the book because he can't read. So he acts like he's going to read it, and then he gives it to Susanna. But and then after that, you can read The Wind Through the Keyhole, which is another Dark Tower story that I think King said you would read, if you were reading them in order, you would read it as the 5th book.
Okay.
But I read it after because I already read all of them.
Yeah, this is like the fucking Marvel movies where you have to like go around and
it's a
watch
huge
them.
universe.
That's
I was
crazy.
taking a look.
I was not aware of that, by the way.
I was taking a look at the series and everything, and they have a website that says all the books and how you should read them in order, and they added in The Stand, The Talisman, Salem's Lot, and The Mist, and Insomnia, and they peppered it. It seemed like the series were peppered with those other books, just to kind of they made reference or such.
Yeah, because Father Callahan from Salem's Lot is a character in the Dark Tower.
Oh,
it's
so a lot of crossovers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
That's great. I have to get into that. I really, you know what? The only reason I never got into the Dark Tower is it's a stupid ass reason. But the reason I never got into it is because when I went to the bookstore, they were like already on part 4. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to find something else. And I started reading other books of his, but I'm like, I'm not going to start something that's sequential. I'm going to let it finish. And then I'll start reading it.
Yeah, and it's never finishing.
That's what I was lucky enough to do. I could get them all.
Yeah, because the thing is, I didn't want to start reading it and then have to anticipate the next one,
Right. I guess people were pissed because some of them took longer than expected to come out. And then some of them weren't what they expected. Or they...
It's like when you're binging a show.
They thought there was supposed to be less books in the series or whatever because maybe he said that at some point. But I think the more you can get, the better. It's awesome stuff.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like that's the only reason for me. I'm like, I don't want to start reading it and then want the next one, and then God knows when it's coming out because it's a fucking book.
But it's all done, so now you can.
Now I can
everything.
do it, and I'm gonna do it. Especially, it sounds amazing.
Now, since we are talking about the Dark Tower, Mike, who out of all the Stephen King characters and all the movies and all the books, who are your favorite 2 characters?
Probably Roland from the Dark Tower, and probably Jack from Talisman. He's the main character in Talisman.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
I've never seen...
He's a little boy who has to grow up kind of fast.
Oh, wow. So let me ask you, the Talisman, did that come out after? Is that like one of the Dark Tower books, or did that come out after? Or?
It links back to it quite a bit.
Is it after the Dark Tower started, though?
It's well after the Dark Tower.
Okay.
I think it's after the last book in the Dark Tower. And it's actually Stephen King and Peter Straub.
Oh, okay.
So it's 2 authors.
Nice.
Oh, that's
it's great though. It's an awesome read.
And it's more science fiction than horror, and mix of them both.
It's a mix of both.
Nice.
Yeah, the Dark Tower seems like a lot of sci-fi too, right?
Yeah, it's very sci-fi.
That's fucking awesome. I'm definitely checking that out. And does the Dark Tower tie into the Stand as well?
Well, the Stand ties into the Dark Tower.
Okay.
Okay.
The Stand was like, looking at the shelf here, the 6th Stephen King book I read, and I hadn't read any of the Dark Tower.
Okay.
So if there's anything from the Dark Tower in the Stand, I don't remember it.
Okay.
But they actually happen upon the world, the Earth, in the time of the Stand.
Okay.
And see newspapers talking about the Captain Trips virus and stuff like that. And Roland seems to know something about the old woman that they all go to see. For some reason, he's seeing something about her or thinking something about her, and he doesn't seem clear on it. But they do end up in the same place.
That's awesome. That's kind of cool because if you really want to get into like a book series, you can get into the Dark Tower and then go and
it's
all
like
these
binge
other
watching
books.
a show, but
And
binge
it's like that
reading.
with so many of them too. It's
Yeah.
like in Gerald's game, like right in the middle, she sees Dolores Claiborne.
No shit.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
When she's melted the well after her old man falls.
That's another one I read. Dolores Claiborne is one of the books I read as well.
They're both Gerald's game and Dolores Claiborne. Parts of them happen during the eclipse is the same eclipse.
Oh,
same
gotcha.
year.
Yeah. I love Dolores Claiborne. That was a great read.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you. I didn't like the movie that much compared to the book.
Yeah.
The book was so good. So good.
Yeah.
He did an amazing job on that book.
I think the book's definitely better than the movie, but I like the movie too.
I like the movie. I didn't hate the movie. I liked, that actor, the guy who plays the pedophile dad or whatever it is, the dad.
I forget him. I know that Jennifer Jason Leigh plays
not a
in it.
pedophile. He abuses her, right?
Yeah,
is that what it is? Yeah. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've dealt with Dolores Claiborne, 20 years or so. But
yeah, like I said, I only remember Jennifer Jason Leigh in that movie.
yeah, it was a great, great book, though. I do remember. When I think about Dolores Claiborne, I think about the book, not the movie.
Who are your two favorite characters?
Definitely Jordy Verrill from Creepshow. Mightier shit.
And I love, and it was played by Stephen King himself.
Of course. And let me think of my other one. I have so many favorite Stephen King characters. Maybe Malachi.
Yeah, right.
Malachi.
Yeah, he was a little.
Bring Isaac. No. Bring Malachi.
He was a good character.
I love Malachi. Orlando.
No,
he's just fucking awesome.
Of course, it like completely left my brain. Christine, what's his name? In
the character's name?
Yeah.
Fuck. I can't remember.
Arnie, that's it.
Arnie.
I know. I kept
Arnie.
wanting to say like a Barney, and
Barney.
so I'm like, that wasn't it. I was thinking
You're watching too much of that dinosaur.
right? But Arnie is one of my favorite characters because he goes from like being a super dork,
I know what you
to
mean.
be very confident,
GQ smooth.
Yeah, and he like stands up to his.
And he turns into a big dickhead.
Yeah, like,
basically.
Oh, totally. I just love how he stands up to his parents. You know what I mean?
Correct.
He's
just he changes so crazy.
Dramatically.
He's got the cars like fucking got him like I'm fucking cool now. Fuck
I'm
this
cool,
shit.
but I just love how different he is from like
I've
the
seen
beginning to the
you've
end.
been with me when I've seen Christine, the real
Yes.
car.
I've seen the real car, Christine.
They've taken the real car to a few
of the cons.
And it actually it's actually in the Orlando Auto Museum where I went to in what the fuck's that place called? I forgot.
I don't know.
I don't know. I did a video on it, but I don't remember what the name of the place is called. But it has a lot of screen used cars. Like it has the General Lee, one of them, because they had many.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, it has like a lot of cool shit.
And my other favorite character, she's so adorable. Annie Wilkes.
Annie Wilkes, yeah.
I think I think she's cute. And I have to say again, because I love how sweet she is and how she keeps I like how she keeps her house nice and tidy.
She's a fucking nut
because
job.
she knows and everything it has a special place, and if anything
I want to say Kathy Bates fucking killed that shit.
Kathy Bates is
she
Annie
murdered
Wilkes.
that role.
She is Annie Wilkes.
She
wonderful.
murdered that role. I mean, dude, I said
that she kept,
go for it.
I like that she kept her house so clean that he could easily find the album with the clippings, all the people she killed and stuff.
Yes.
It was just there for him to find.
She fucking knew that he put the fucking figure back the wrong way.
Yes.
That's how fucking obsessed she was.
I would love to be that way. I would love my house to be that way.
Yeah, but she just
love her.
murdered that role. Actually, I think that was the role that put Kathy Bates like on the map.
I think it was her first role. I can't remember, but I know it did put her on. Everybody knew who she was after that.
Everybody saw her, and it was a psycho bitch from Misery.
And she did it. I forget, like, would she say, like, oh, cock-a-doodle, just like, oh, yeah, I don't know. She'd always have these completely corny things, and she was, crazy.
Yeah.
I loved her. I'm your biggest fan.
I want to talk about another book, and they made a movie about it, but another book that I really, really enjoyed. Really, really. And it's so memorable to me, which is why I want to mention it, is Needful Things.
Oh, yeah, I need to see that.
Needful Things. Now, the movie, I'll be honest with you, if you watch the movie before you read the book, you're going to be disappointed. Definitely read the book first. The book is so much better. I am so happy I read the book before I saw the movie, because when I saw the movie, I was like, no, this is not what he wanted done with this story.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So definitely the book is 100 times better. You haven't read Needful Things, Mike?
I have not. No, but I definitely intend to read it before I see the movie.
Now,
Yeah,
have you
absolutely.
ever seen, Mike, have you ever seen the TV show from the 80s, Friday the 13th, the series, where they had
Yeah, of course.
an antique store? So, yeah, Jimmy said that I would actually love Needful Things because it's kind of like got the same concept,
Well,
where it's an antique store.
Yeah, I'll give you a summary of what Needful Things is
yeah.
about. Needful Things is about a guy who just happens to be a deity or some kind, or some kind of evil thing. But he opens a little store in the middle of a town nowhere in Maine. You know, just like Stephen King, typical Stephen King shit, where he just puts
Like Castle Rock.
exactly, which is like Salem's Lot. If you think the vampire, he came, he set up shop, and he fucked everybody up. It's kind of like very similar to that. But it's this guy comes and he sets up a shop in a small town, and anytime you walk into this store, no matter what it is, you're gonna find what you need.
I love
So
that.
like this one kid wanted this Sandy Koufax baseball card that was super rare, and it was only out in like tobacco, like with chewing tobacco and shit like that back in the day, which is where baseball cards started. And he's like,
It's like trying to find Terry, the dinosaur from Pee-wee's Playhouse, the plush toy. It is so hard to find that thing. Oh my God. Okay. Anyways, go ahead.
But anyway, yeah, long story short, no, like, you know, that's just one example. There's one kid who really wants his baseball card, and it's a Sandy Koufax card from like 1950 something. And, you know, he walks into the store, and of course, what's the very first thing behind the display case is the fucking Sandy Koufax 52. And and he's looking at it, and he's like, he said in the book, he describes it. He's like, my chances of seeing this are like slim to none, kind of
Like the Terry,
in person, you know,
like the pterodactyl.
what the fuck is it with you and Pee-wee's Playhouse right now?
Because it bothers me that I haven't even seen the plush Terry doll. Anyways,
I did. I showed you one on eBay.
yeah, on eBay.
shit
But
was
I've
like
never seen that
$200,
in
so
live.
fuck that.
Never seen it live. Sorry about that, Mike.
Anyway, so yeah, that's what the book's about. So
Yeah.
of course it's a town of people, and you know, typical Stephen King, you have a gathering of people, and they all go to the store, and all of a sudden they find exactly what they're fucking looking for. And that's all I'm gonna tell you, because of course there's a whole twist to it and everything. But since you're gonna read the book, that's kind of what it's about. It's
like
about
that.
a guy who basically has everything you need, kind of like the Twilight Zone episode. What you need.
I have what you need.
Yeah, what you need. So it's very, very similar to that. The guy who was running the store had powers of some kind. I don't know if he was the devil. I think he was supposed to be the devil, or somebody like the devil. But yeah, you said you never read that one, right, Mike? But you heard about the Sandy Koufax part?
I haven't read it. And I haven't seen the movie, but I remember about the part about the Sandy Koufax card for some reason.
It's a really big
So,
part in the
somebody
movie.
must have told it to me,
In the book,
yeah,
sorry.
Somebody must have told it to me or
I
something.
swear I
'cause
remember
haven't read
that.
it.
The Sandy
'Cause
Koufax?
The Sandy Koufax part.
Yeah.
I've never seen the movie. I never read the book.
Well, it's how the whole thing gets started. That's why it's so relevant, because he's got this really rare card that he's like, I'll never ever run into this card. It's so rare. It's so rare that like, so one of those things where like you'll never see it in real life. You know what I mean? But you see pictures of it in a magazine.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he walks into this store, this tiny little fucking store that has very little items in it, but it happens to have the Sandy Koufax card that he's looking for.
I bet, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Have you read The Golden Years, Mike?
No, I haven't.
Have you seen the show, the miniseries?
No.
Neither have I.
Okay, yeah,
Honestly,
it's kind
I
of.
don't even think I've heard of it.
Yeah, neither have
You
I.
never really? I have. I saw the miniseries. I never read the book,
Yeah,
but
it
it's
was
very.
from 1991 was when the TV series came out.
Yeah. Now I'll be honest with you. I can't remember if the guy is young and gets old, or if he's old and gets young, like Benjamin Button. You know. But it's it's a guy. It's a story about a guy who ages really quick or regresses in age real quick. I can't remember. I'll be honest with you, but I remember the character. He looks like Geppetto from Pinocchio. Just like Geppetto. When you watch when you see the show or the movie for the first time, you're gonna remember what I just said.
I love
He
that.
looks just like fucking Geppetto from the animated Pinocchio.
The one thing I do like in all the Stephen King books, not all the Stephen King movies, but most of them, Stephen King always plays a cameo.
Yes.
Always either plays a
Always
character,
shows up.
but yeah,
And Maximum Overdrive everywhere.
Maximum Overdrive. Speaking of, I love that movie
I love it
so
too.
much,
Yeah.
and
That's the one he actually did direct.
He directed.
Yes.
Oh, he directed
Yeah,
the movie.
yeah. Remember we saw that?
Yeah.
No, that's right.
Yes.
That's right.
And he got permission to use the green, what is
The
it?
Green Goblin.
Yeah,
Yeah, which
got
I've seen a
permission.
million times in real life because they always bring it to Spooky Empire, which is a local horror con here. Yeah, so the guy who owns it, some dude bought it, like the
Yeah.
original head that was on the semi truck, and he brings it to
Right.
Spooky Empire and he sets it up like up against the backdrop that looks like a semi, and you can take pictures with it and everything.
Now, I love that book
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah.
I love that movie so much that I really, really want to find the book or the short story or whatever it is and read that one. 'Cause
Short story.
It's a short story. Did you read that, Mike?
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
I really
And
like
what book
that.
is that in? Do you remember?
I do not, but I got the night shift here, and I can tell you if it's in here. Or if
Yeah,
it's in,
yeah. See if it's in. Man, Night Shift just sounds like an amazing read.
Yeah,
I
you
just-
have that, and you
I
have
have
to
it.
bring
I
it
have it
over.
at home, yeah.
And he has about 20 of Stephen King's short stories.
Oh
in it.
yeah, I know. I remember it being
yeah,
a great
apparently
book.
it's in Skeleton Crew because it's not in the night shift.
Okay,
Nice. So we have to get the Skeleton Crew as well.
and Night Shift.
Yeah.
Well,
And
Night Shift I have. I don't have Skeleton Crew.
You're gonna do a lot of reading out loud.
Yeah,
Do the characters too. Do the voices. make it fun for me.
you know I will.
I
Let's
love
talk.
that.
Okay, so let's keep moving forward in his filmography / bookography.
Oh, yes,
Sleepwalkers.
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 I like that when they
Sleepwalkers.
change into like cats and stuff.
Incest
I know.
galore in
I
that
don't-
movie.
I don't like that
Yeah.
part. It's so gross.
Yeah, I saw that the first day I could in the theater.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I was. That's another theater one I saw.
I think that was an HBO one for me.
Yeah.
I think I saw that one.
You know,
on
the dude from
cable or
Sleepwalkers
USA.
is going to be at the con next weekend.
Oh, really? I did. Yeah, I did see
Yeah.
his face on the list
Yeah,
of
he
the
was-
He
guests who
used
were
to
going.
be on Charmed too, didn't he?
Sean?
I think it's the same guy. Charmed.
Charmed.
with
Yeah.
the-
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
I think so.
I never saw that show,
I
but
never
I think
saw it, but I think I've seen ads for it, and I think I have seen him in the
Gringa
ads.
from 90210.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love. Oh, I love 90210.
Well, you shouldn't have said 90210, man. You just fucked the whole show up.
Okay, everything. Yeah. Because I've been trying from day one. I've been trying to talk him into me having some kind of like, because every single time we talk about something, there's something I could find about talking about 90210.
Oh, God.
So thank you for bringing it up.
No.
I didn't bring it
Why'd you
up.
do that, Mike?
Oh, I love 90210. That's my favorite TV show of all time.
Oh, here we go.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I know.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
Did you get your rock star? Did you get your fix?
I didn't bring it up. I'm just so happy.
You're happy somebody brought up
I'm
90210.
so happy. Okay.
Yeah, I got her a set of 90210, like 90210 vintage cards. Like
Playing cards.
Yeah, at the flea market.
A
remember?
full set.
Yeah, like a full set.
Oh, I love that so
Yeah, that's a really cool set.
I know I'm such a dork. Okay, I love 90210. Okay, we'll go. We'll continue with Stephen King.
Yeah.
On the back in the 90s, and then in the 90s. That's another like decade where he just popped out movies again.
Right.
When
Well,
we
The
got
Dark Half came out
Half.
1993. The movie, which
Sean-
I read The Dark Half in junior high, so it was. I want to say I graduated in 95, so right around when the movie came, maybe a few years before I read it. You know, I know that the movie wasn't even in the works when I read it.
Same here. But I don't think I've saw it at the movie theaters. I think I saw that one when it was already on TV.
I worked at a
think.
video
It doesn't-
store as a manager when I saw that movie.
Oh. Now The Mangler. I've never seen this movie, but of course we seem to bring him up a lot. But that was directed by Tobe Hooper.
Yes, Tobe Hooper has been like in every fucking podcast episode we have.
Yeah.
And it had Robert Englund, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
Freddy
yes,
Krueger's
it
in
sure
that one.
did. It was an awesome,
And-
awesome read too. The Mangler
There's
was
another
good.
Toby. What is there's another Tobe Hooper movie that has England in it. The one with the alligator under the house.
Oh,
The guy lets people come and stay, and the alligator eats a dog and some people.
Oh shit, what's that called?
Came out shortly after Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I know.
Is it Eaten Alive or something like that?
I think so. I know the movie you're talking
remember-
about.
Is it not Lake
was on-
Placid?
No, hell no, it's not Lake Placid.
No.
no.
But I remember they put it on. I think it was on Netflix.
Yeah,
And when they
I know the
first put it
movie
on
you're
there,
talking about.
It was just the first 30 minutes of the movie, and I tried to watch it, and it would end after 30 minutes, and I was like, "Is it just glitching?" And then eventually they took it down because they had a shitty upload of it or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh
didn't
wow,
have
that's
the movie.
crazy.
But since I've seen it, and I've seen the whole movie, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, I have seen that movie. It's damn. I think it is Eaten Alive. You know that? I'm trying to think of the title.
It is Eaten Alive,
I
yeah.
think it is Eaten Alive.
I have to see that one.
Yeah. Another book, of course, and you're reading it right now as we speak, is The Tommyknockers, which they also made another TV miniseries, which I did not enjoy that. Did you watch that?
No, my mom did though. She read the book too.
Did she like the series?
I think she liked everything.
Tommyknockers is a great story, and the book is a great read, and it's a really big fucking book. It's thick, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's huge.
It's a huge book. It's
Does it have small writing?
I can't remember
Yeah,
that.
it has small writing all the way to the edge of the pages.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's a really
pages
long
are quite
read.
full of a lot of words.
It's got it.
Yeah.
Like I know that's maybe why I like Stephen King
I remember
intimidates me.
I remember I have perfect memory of the day I bought that book. I walked in and it was just sitting there. You know, I went to the horror section of the books and it was, you know, they put all of them like with the spine out, but then that one they had like with the cover.
Oh, okay.
And I saw it and I was like, this looks cool. I don't even know. It has some green shit on the cover. I don't know what it was. So some green shit. But I picked it up and I took it home and I started reading it. And I remember reading it for like 2.5, 3 hours without stopping. It's a great read, and the way he writes it and he describes things in that book, it's classic Stephen King, like the way that he writes. He has a really, really unique writing style. Stephen King, and again, I said in the beginning, it was like informal, but it's also very proper. It's weird. It's like when you read it, a lot of authors that you read, they'll try to sound smart, but Stephen King doesn't do that. He's smart without trying to sound smart, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean?
He's not trying. He just is smart. You know what I mean?
The way that he tells the story, immediately it's like you're experiencing it. It's not a lot of authors. It's like they're writing the story, and you kind of have to really you go into it and place yourself in it. With Stephen King, he places you in it.
Yeah.
Right away.
There's one thing about
it's like it's happening now instead of something that has happened.
Correct. That's the perfect analogy. It's like with other
he
books,
writes
it's
in
like
the
you're reading
present.
history.
Yeah.
With his books, it's like you're reading the present.
Okay.
It's like what it's
happening.
It's the way that he writes.
I like that.
It has 100% to do with the words he chooses and the way he chooses to express himself and how informal he is with his sentences. So he'll write sentences that are, completely,
it's not proper English, is what you're saying. He writes
he does
the way
it because
he talks.
that's the way, exactly. Like when a character talks a certain way, he writes them that way.
Yeah.
And it's amazing the way he
And
does
when a character is thinking a certain thing, he writes the way and how the character is thinking.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
If it's a smart person, he's going to write smart. If it's an ignorant person, a dumb person is going to write like a dumb, ignorant person.
Yeah. And sticking to the 90s, we have the
Thinner.
the Langoliers.
I've never seen the Langoliers.
I've seen I was not a big fan of the TV show or miniseries because that was another one of those 4-day things.
Okay.
And I remember it was coming out and I really wanted to see it. And my sister got really into it. And she's like, you got to see this. But I had already read the book. And when I saw it, it's not bad. I'm not going to say it's a bad miniseries, but it's one of those things where the book's 100 times better too.
Of course. The book's always 100 times better.
Sometimes the book is as good as the movie, or the movie sometimes will really do the book justice. But in these kinds of movies, like the Langoliers is one of those that I would say, like, if you read the book first and then you see it, you're going to probably not be like, I prefer the book.
I got you.
So
I haven't read the Langoliers yet, but I know some of these books are so long that it would be impossible to put everything in a movie.
Yeah. Oh no, impossible.
Dark
Yeah,
Tower,
unless the movie's like 4 hours.
The
Yeah.
Dark Tower movie barely touches on anything in all the books.
Yeah.
And it gives like an outline of the series.
Yeah.
But most of the characters aren't there.
No,
most of the things that happen aren't there.
They dumbed it down.
It's a good story, but it gives you kind of the beginning, the end, and just the story of Roland and Jake and the Man in Black.
So you watched the Dark Tower movie, Mike?
Yeah.
So how is that worth watching? Obviously, read the series first, right?
Well, I mean, I don't think it matters because it's not going to spoil much. Like I said, it doesn't show much that has to do with the series. There's so much that goes on in there. It would have to be a couple movies.
Okay.
At least.
So it'd be cool to watch the movie first and then pick up the series and start reading it.
Yeah, because it'd just be like a little taste of it.
So it's kind of like watching The Hobbit and then reading
actually reading the Tolkien books.
Yeah, the Tolkien books.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes
which
sense.
I'm a huge fan of too. And like right when you see, I wasn't a big fan of the Hobbit movies at all, but like they left so much out of the Lord of the Rings. There's a character. I mean, I don't want to go too much into the Lord of the Rings. There's a character called Tom Bombadil in the Lord of the Rings books, who, in my opinion, was essential to the story. and he was completely written out of the movies. And when I went to see the movie, I was like, why did they write this one character
They
out?
did the same thing to Harry Potter. I know you're not a fan,
No.
but there was a bunch of key characters that were throughout the books that they left out of the movies completely.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it. That even though the Lord of the Rings movies are super long, even the extended versions, but I just don't understand why they would leave that one character out. He had enough of a role, and he had in the book where I think that he should have been included
You're funny.
in the movie. But
And the same thing with like you said, the dark. Mike was saying with the Dark Tower.
Yeah.
you know, it was just very.
yeah, but if he's saying that we could
Basic.
watch it without
Yeah.
without
Having
to
the
get a
movie.
taste of it, I would like to probably see that.
You might like it more if you watch it before you read the books.
This is
because
true.
I've heard a lot of people that have read the books that don't like the movie because of that. I thought the movie was fine. I thought it was pretty damn cool.
Yeah, and you would know because
Like
you've
I
read like
said,
every single
doesn't-
book too.
Yeah, it doesn't touch on a third of the entire series, and it couldn't possibly in 90 minutes. I mean,
No way.
you'd go blind trying to watch it.
Yeah, yeah.
It'd be
Right.
too much.
Absolutely. No, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, imagine how many books is it? It's an enormous amount of books. There's no way you can put that in one movie. It's impossible.
Right.
You know, but it's crazy how they even tried to do that, right? Like they called it the Dark Tower, and there's no like sequels in the works or anything. So that was it, right?
That's funny.
Well, Mike Flanagan, I think is his name. I think is the guy who made Gerald's Game too. I
Yeah,
think he wants to
it
take
is
another
Mike Flanagan who
stab
made.
at
He
the Dark
directed
Tower.
He directed Gerald's Game. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He wants to do the Dark Tower.
Oh,
cool.
that'd
Even though
be
it's already been done, he wants to do it like the series.
The real-
and
the
include a
right
lot-
way.
Oh, a series. That
yeah,
would
which would be
nice.
amazing. See,
Yeah.
that's one of those that should have been, because a lot of the Stephen King stuff, like Rose Red, was a miniseries. It was a miniseries.
Yeah,
the Langoliers.
that would
all
be
those are
smart.
miniseries, and
but to actually make it a series with seasons
that would be
and
amazing.
everything.
Not even season. They could probably do it within a span of a couple of weeks on a network television, on a
Like,
network television station.
What is it?
you know.
That
Still, it would be big. It's bigger than It, and It is
Yeah.
a huge book.
Is it bigger
And
than
that
The
took, what,
Stand?
a week to watch?
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course it is,
Yeah,
right?
totally.
it was like
All of them
$7.
together, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
it's
you
yeah,
think
it's
about
too
it,
much.
you
Yeah,
can totally do
yeah. So that would
series.
probably be like a seasons, like you said, you know, like season 1, season
like
2.
what's that zombie?
The
thing?
Walking Dead?
Like that.
Yeah.
You know, that would be a great
Yeah, but
idea.
it would just not last forever like that.
yeah. The Walking Dead, man. Like I was a
I've
huge
never
fan of the
seen-
books. Well, I was a huge fan of the books before The Walking Dead was even a concept for TV. I was reading the comics, and I was so happy when they were doing The Walking Dead. And the first few seasons are amazing. I think like the first 4 or 5 seasons are great. They stick to the story, and then it just goes.
I'm a total brat.
It goes-
Like
That's what I watched was the first 4 or 5 seasons.
Yeah, and then after that,
I
it's
was
over.
like, I love zombie movies, but they end. I
Yeah,
was like, what the
yeah.
hell is this?
Not only that, they just
Forever
wrote.
zombies?
Yeah,
you said they kept
they wrote
repeating the
so
stories.
much shit in there that was not ever written.
I was not a fan of the CGI. That's why they lost me. I know I'm a dork, but I do like my fake blood, and I like my special effects. So the CGI when they did the blood, I was just kind of.
Yeah, no, it looks super stupid. I'll tell you, some of those fucking scenes where they're doing the CGI looks so
Yeah,
fake.
they lost me.
Yeah, and you know, and what's funny is it's Greg Nicotero's behind it, who's huge. He's a huge name
Right.
in horror, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and he did a great job. I'm not shitting on the show. The first 4 or 5 seasons,
you
if you
liked
watch The Walking Dead, you'll like it. You know, I guarantee you'll like it. It's just when it starts going, like I think after Negan, which was the last real thing that they covered from the comics. You know, when Negan comes and he, you know, once he exits, that should have been the end of the show.
I don't know. It just seems like a lot of people are bullies in that movie or that TV show. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And I just don't want to deal with
I
it.
guess you'd kind of have to be in that kind of world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, man, it's the fucking apocalypse. The beautiful thing about The Walking Dead, though, and let's not talk too much about The Walking Dead. This is about Stephen King, but I'm gonna say
We always do this.
I'm gonna say one. I know. I'm gonna say one last thing about The Walking Dead, and that is, it's that type of show where they make you fall in love with a character only to fucking slaughter the shit out of him.
Oh, that's great.
In
You
the
know,
worst
I
way.
can't do that. Dude, when I watch, we're going to go into whatever tangent, but Glory, the movie Glory.
Yeah, I remember when I
I'm
made you watch
so
that.
mad at you. I fell in love with all the entire cast. I
Matthew
fell in love
Broderick.
with Matthew Broderick and Jamie Foxx and Denzel Washington.
Yeah, she's like all
and
into
I'm
the
into this
character.
movie and
And I'm
everything.
like, you don't know what's gonna happen, do you?
And they all, and I don't care if I'm going to spoil it or whatever, but they all die. Every last one of them.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
did I cry? And that was right after Schindler's List.
Have you seen that movie, Mike? Glory?
Oh, you made me cry.
I haven't seen Glory, no.
Oh,
Dude,
I
it's
recently
a
saw it.
great movie. It's about the Civil
wonderful-
War, but it's just really good.
Yeah.
I don't want to go too much into, but it's just a fucking great movie.
It's
Watch
a
it for
wonderful
sure. You'll love
movie,
it.
but don't get attached to any of the
It's
characters.
like The Walking Dead, yeah.
Oh, don't like them. It was just yeah. So
All right.
I always do that. Now, the kind of book reader I am, you always yell at me, but I'm not a suspenseful like, oh, I want to read. I'm so bad. I go and I read like the last chapter.
Yeah,
I'll read
she
the
likes to spoil shit.
I do. I read
Why do you like that?
because I want to make sure. I want
I
to.
guess if you don't pay full price for a book, it's
No, but she's the type of person that
Yeah.
like when I tell her, like for instance, I've introduced her to so many things she didn't know anything about.
Yeah.
And
I'll Google
and
it,
she'll be
and-
like fucking Googling it. And I'm like, what are you doing?
And I'm like, well, I want to know how it ends. And he's like, why? I'm like, because I don't want to get in. I don't want to get attached to anybody.
Like that's the whole purpose of me telling you about
So
it.
that's what I always do. I read the last chapter of a book.
She fucking
to
goes and she
find
lets
out
the- like
who is
this- like
alive,
how it
who
ends.
isn't. So that way when I read,
What kind of shit is that? That's not enjoyable.
to me it is.
yeah, that's a weird way of doing things.
I
Right?
like-
Why would you want that?
I hate being surprised. I don't like being surprised. I want to know
So you want to know the end of the book before
Yeah.
the beginning of the book?
100%.
What the hell is wrong with you?
That's just
If
how
I'm
I
gonna
am.
be surprised, I'd rather it be in a book. That's for sure.
That's
just-
right, especially when you're investing that kind of time into it.
I'm weird. I mean, well, well, it depends. It depends on what I'm reading. Now, if I'm reading it in like the first couple chapters and then I'm like, oh my God, I wonder how this is going to end. Then I'll read it, because it's right there. It's
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'll read a book all the way through. But if I'm like dying to know, like, oh my God, yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I got a magazine rack of issues.
Yeah. No shit. That's just I don't want shit spoiled because like
I don't know.
I don't know. For me, it takes the enjoyment out. But
I
that's
always
just-
tell you when we watch movies, I'm like, tell me how it ends. And you're like, no, I'm not going to
I'm
spoil.
not. I know. I'm not going to tell you how it ends. What's the purpose of that?
Please. Is that the bad guy? Is that the good guy?
Yeah, she's asking me fucking 100 questions through the movie,
Yeah, I don't like it.
and I'm like, why don't you just watch it and enjoy it? Just watch it. I promise you, you're gonna find out.
I'm so weird.
I'm like, I promise you, you're gonna find out. Trust
Now,
me.
okay, go back to Stephen King. I'm so
Yes,
sorry.
we're going
At
back to
the-
Stephen King. Let's
at
talk
the
about
end-
the end of the 90s, right?
The end of the 90s.
Yeah, because
is-
we were in the mid 90s. Now we're going toward the end.
Yeah.
We talked about Dolores Claiborne, which was 95.
Thinner.
Thinner. I love
love
Thinner.
Carrie War. I think
Yeah.
Carrie War was in the movie, right?
Who's that?
Carrie War. She was one of the gypsies.
Was she like a hot gypsy?
She was the hot gypsy.
Oh my god, that bitch is hot as hell.
Carrie War, and she was in Eight-Legged Freaks too,
Oh my
and in
God, she-
Remote Control. Carrie War.
I don't know her name, but she was fucking
Oh, I
hot as
love
shit.
her. Remember Remote Control
crap.
from MTV Remote Control, the game show.
Yeah, I
She
told
was
her.
in
Ken
that.
Oberman. Ken
Yeah.
Oberman.
Ken
Is it
Oberman?
Ober or Oberman? Yeah, Ken Oberman. He
Yeah.
died, you know that. He died.
Oh yeah,
He
you just
passed
told me
away.
that.
He passed
Yeah, you
away.
can find the old Remote Control MTV things we were
Do you
watching
remember
on
Remote
YouTube.
Control, Mike?
Yeah.
Adam Sandler was in it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love that. Colin Quinn.
Colin Quinn.
But anyways, that's totally him. But Carrie War, she's so pretty. But yeah, she was in Thinner. She was one of the gypsies. I wanted to be a gypsy after that.
Teeny.
Thinner. Touches the face and he gets. Oh my god, could you imagine?
Other than what's Drag Me to Hell, that's the worst gypsy curse movie I've ever seen. Although the Wolfman, the original Wolfman with Bela Lugosi is fucking awesome.
I'm not kidding you. When I was young, my mom used to always tell me, I'm going to drop you off at the gypsy's house. I would get her mad. And she's like, over there, I'm going to drop you. The gypsies.
Didn't I
live
tell
over-
your mom
Wait.
to take me to the gypsies once or something?
No. Wait. So whenever there was this is so bad.
Oh, really? Because she was a hot gypsy. I'm like, take me to the gypsies.
No,
They're
listen.
hot as fuck.
No, it was a hoarder. Like, whenever there was like a hoarder's house, my mom was so bad. She'd be like, gypsies live over there. I'm going to go drop you off there. So we were walking by, me and Jimmy, and there was like a hoarder thing situation. And I said, if you don't knock it off, I'm going to drop you off at the gypsies. He's like, good. I like gypsies. I think they're cool. They're better than being over here. I was like, oh shit, that didn't work.
Drop me off at a gypsy that looks like the one from Thinner.
Yeah, that's what you said. I was like, I hate you.
The
Oh,
one
do
from
I hate you?
That specific gypsy.
Yeah,
I want
jerk.
that one.
Yeah. Anyways,
Send me that
so
one.
Trucks. That was in 1997.
I've never seen that or heard of it. What about you, Mike?
Have you seen her watch the movie or TV or
Anything like that? Have you ever heard of Trucks?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
I've never even fucking heard of it, bro.
I know. When I hear Trucks, I think of
Well,
Maximum
I was with
Overdrive.
Golden Years.
The Golden Years. Or what? You have no idea when I was writing down all
no, the
these
Golden
movies.
Years.
I've read
The Golden Years. I definitely
Trucks.
saw.
I've read Trucks because it's in Night Shift. I just looked it up.
I'm gonna bring over the Golden Years because I actually own it.
Okay.
So I'll bring it over.
Storm of the Century was one
I
that we did. That
love
was
Storm of the
from
Century. Fuck yeah.
1999, and that was a TV
Give me
miniseries
what I want
that
and
we
I'll
just
go
saw.
I just watched that again recently.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
And
so did
now
we. So did we.
you said it was not a book. What was
It's
it?
a screenplay.
Yeah,
Just
He
a
wrote
screenplay, right?
Yeah, like the Stephen King screenplay, yeah.
that's awesome.
So he
And I
literally
think
wrote
it's
it for the
available
screen, huh?
online to read. Yeah, he wrote that miniseries.
That's
Wow.
so great. I loved it and loved it. I loved it when the kids like in the move in the show. It just looked more fun to be with the bad guy. It really was.
The Night Flyer,
He was a
1997.
cool bad guy.
Yeah,
Have
he
you
was a
heard
cool
of that?
He was a
Mike?
cool bad guy.
The Night Flyer?
The Night Flyer.
I've heard of it, and I saw it, but I barely remember it. I haven't read it.
Yeah, I saw it as well, and I don't remember it at all either. That's why I completely that shit. I hit delete on that shit. on my
Now,
brain.
Stephen King didn't write all horror. I always say horror. It sounds
Horror.
horror. So we have like The Shawshank Redemption. You have Stand By Me, and then we also have
Gringa.
and then we also have The Green Mile.
The Green Mile. I love
was
The Green Mile.
one of the
What a masterpiece.
greatest
I love
stories. The asshole, that asshole.
Yeah.
Um,
The dickhead that wanted to
Oh.
kill the fucking rat,
Yeah.
the mouse.
I don't like him at all.
Yeah, that one translates pretty good from the book to the movie.
Yes,
too.
it does.
They're both excellent.
It does. It does. It really does. And the guy who played, I know this is irrelevant, but the guy who played the guy with the mouse, Mr. Wiggles, was from Sesame Street. He played Mr. Wiggles on Sesame Street.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
hilarious.
he was the original Mr. Wiggles before.
He was on a show called Evening Shade or something like that too with Burt Reynolds.
Oh, nice.
Like
The guy who replaced him, because he passed away. He died suddenly. The guy who had the mouse, and he was the original Mr. Wiggles. And the guy who replaced him as Mr. Wiggles, which was another amazing physical actor. I don't know if you guys remember. Did you ever see? Well, obviously, I know you have Popeye.
Oh yeah.
So the guy in Popeye that they squash his head.
Oh yeah, I
and he,
love
like-
him. He's in the Cosby Show.
Yeah, he's like
Yeah.
And he makes
He
those
did the
funny-
elevator. No,
Yeah.
like he would walk down. He
So-
would do the elevator.
and
thing.
he was an
Love
amazing.
him.
You know who I'm talking about, Mike?
In the Popeye movie?
Yeah, you know the Popeye movie with Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah.
it's the dude. Like, remember that he gets like squashed by Bluto. Like, they put a hat on him and he pretends that his face is all like squashed in the bar and shit. Like when
Yeah,
they're
I remember.
so
Yeah.
that guy replaced the dude from the Green Mile as Mr. Wiggles in Sesame Street, and he was the only guy who I would have respected replacing him as because Mr. Wiggles was just a really crazy character on Sesame Street. So. And he
love
did
that
such
guy.
a, he's a very good, he's like Jim Carrey, physical actor with the
Great
crazy
physical.
faces,
I just remember from the Cosby Show. I love the
Yeah.
Cosby Show.
What's
did.
Quicksilver Highway?
I don't know. It was a
Quicksilver
TV.
Highway?
Yeah, it was a TV series that I never saw either.
Have you ever heard of that, Mike? Quicksilver Highway?
The only Quicksilver I remember wasn't there a Kevin Bacon movie called Quicksilver where
You
he's
know-
a bicycle messenger or something?
I think so.
That's so funny.
The only
That's what I
Quicksilver I know is the leader of the Silverhawks.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
There you go.
That's it. That's the only Quicksilver I know.
Yeah, like I'm a little more.
I've never even heard of that, honestly, as a Stephen King work.
I'm
though.
so much more familiar with the Stephen King movies from the 80s and the 90s rather than now.
Yeah, I'm familiar with some of the ones from now, but
Mm-hmm.
the ones like Riding the Bullet, that was in the 2000s already, right?
Yeah. The only one I know from the 2000s is 1408 with John
I love
Cusack.
1408. Did you
Yeah,
see
that was
1408?
pretty awesome.
Yeah. Was that also? I never read the book. Have you read that book?
I haven't read it, no, but I saw the movie. It was really cool.
And is that actually a book or is it a short story? Do you know?
I think it's a book. I don't know for sure
Yeah,
though.
I'll have to look that one up because it's such a great story.
I only know I only know it as a Cusack film. That's it.
Yeah, it's a Cusack film. It's
Yeah.
so good. He's great.
Yeah.
Even
I
though
saw
it's a thing.
1408 and like Identity, both Cusack films back to back.
Yeah.
I remember seeing them right around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So
I know we're coming really
Yeah.
late on the toy
Yeah.
time.
yeah,
but
let's do some little toy time right now, right?
yeah, now Creepshow. I swear. Oh, you know what? You had just bought a Creepshow the Creepshow throw
Oh, the blanket thing, yeah, the VHS cover, yeah.
I want
Yeah, I have
that.
I have a
so
blanket that's
much.
like the VHS cover of the movie Creepshow. It's just like it.
love
crazy.
that. So, anybody who is listening on our podcast right now, if you want to go,
Hit the
you
fucking
can,
like button.
yeah, go
Do
to
that.
hit the like button
If you're on YouTube.
and then if you want to go to YouTube so you can see, because Jimmy has just an extensive collection of toys, and usually every single podcast he's got a
I try
toy.
to bring something out
He's
that
got
has
a
to do with
toy.
it.
He's always got a toy.
So today will be no exception.
Yeah.
And we're going to start with Creepshow. Oh, actually, there's 2 Creepshow pieces today. That's the first one.
Mm-hmm.
That
That's from
is
Father's Day.
No.
Yeah.
This is something to tide you over.
Oh,
You got the wrong one in your hand. Father's Day is coming up, though. Spoiler alert. But anyway.
Yeah, to
this
tide
is
you
something
over.
to tide you over, which is the Ted Danson featurette.
It's
from
so sad
the
that they
first
don't
Creepshow.
have the toupee, Ted Danson's toupee in this.
They forgot to include Ted Danson's toupee with the figure. So thumbs down for that.
That was,
but yeah.
oh,
What
we-
is this right here? I
we
can't.
talked
what the
about
fuck is
Leslie.
that?
So Leslie.
What are those accessories that come with
So Leslie Nielsen, there's nothing there. So Leslie Nielsen, he was in Tide You Over, and I always knew him, Naked Gun,
Yes.
and Airplane. It's a very
I can hold my breath a very long time.
He was such a jerk in Creepshow that I couldn't believe it was the same guy playing the same
He's a
character
great-
as
he wa-
Naked
he was a
Gun.
great actor.
Just an amazing actor. But yeah, he was
Yeah.
in Tide
He's
You
not
Over.
visible on prom night too.
Oh,
Yes, that's right.
yes.
He was. That's right. He's been in a lot of shit, and the thing is, I believe he was in Columbo
and
too.
white,
Remember,
yeah.
like one of the episodes of Columbo where he
Mhm.
was one of the killers. Remember, and that was
Yes.
crazy. Like to see him as such a bad guy.
Such a bad guy.
Yeah.
He's in some famous old sci-fi movie. I can't.
Forbidden
think of right
Planet.
now, too.
Forbidden
Planet.
Planet. Yes.
Yeah, Forbidden Planet.
Yeah, he's
We
in
watched
Forbidden
that.
Planet. Yeah,
Forbidden Planet.
I'm a huge fan of that fucking film.
Oh, I love old cheesy.
Yeah, it's a great movie. If you like those
1950s,
old sci-fi, like the
50s,
tarantula,
60s, 70s.
Attack of the 50-Foot Woman, if you like that type of sci-fi, it's like the old cheesy 50s sci-fi, So that's the type of movie it is. It actually featured the robot. The
robot from,
the robot in Forbidden Planet is the same robot that was used in the Twilight Zone in the episode.
And
Uncle
the same
Simon.
robot is
The Lost in Space.
Lost in
Actually,
Space.
Lost in Space, they used the same robot, but they changed his head.
right. Mm-hmm.
But it was the same body.
Yes. But it's
Which-
so cool. He's
which
a
is pretty
Hollywood
cool.
famous robot.
Yeah, he's been
Very famous.
But in Uncle Simon, if you I'm a fucking massive Twilight Zone freak, as everybody knows by now. But in Uncle Simon, in that episode, they literally didn't change the robot at all. He looks. If
Oh,
you
yeah, he
look
looks
at
exactly.
Forbidden Planet, and then you go and watch that episode.
Yeah.
it's identical because Rod Serling went into their
and-
prop department.
Yeah,
and he's like, I need a robot. He's like, we got this guy. He was just used in this movie. Okay, no problem.
I need him.
Yeah. So next toy. Let's
Next
look up
toy.
the next toy.
That's the one I ruined. Father's
No,
Day.
you did not. That's not the
Oh.
next one. Stop getting ahead of me. Let me do the toys, okay? Anyway, we got Malachi and Isaac
I love that.
from Children of the Corn.
They don't make any toys for Children of the Corn. I think this is
He
the only
who
one.
walks behind the rose.
He walks behind the rose.
That's right. This is Isaac and Malachi,
Yeah.
which was made by this particular figure was made by Trick or Treat Studios
And bought by me.
and bought by the Gringa at a convention for me.
I always get
I think you
presents.
surprised me with this shit.
I did, yeah.
I think I was like doing a vlog and you just walked up to me with it.
Yeah. It's like, here you go. I
So
know.
yeah, it's Malachi and Isaac, which man, it's just so spot on. The especially the scale.
Didn't you say you saw Isaac
Yeah, I
at,
saw him at Starbucks.
Starbucks?
Yeah.
And he
Isaac,
was
actually, the guy who played
teeny.
Isaac, he's fucking like, dude. I'm not a tall guy, okay, and this dude was so fucking. I was
I'm
like
5
towering
foot.
over him.
I'm 5 foot nothing, and you said he was shorter
Yeah,
than
I'm
me.
5'7".
Yeah,
And
you
he
said,
must have been like, I want
Yeah.
to say he was like 5'2".
That's hilarious. Oh,
But he
a
was in
little
front of
taller
me
than
about to get a coffee at Starbucks, and I looked at it and I'm like, that's fucking Isaac from Children of the Corn. So I tapped him on the shoulder. I'm like, what's up? And at that same day, I got his autograph too. I got him and Corey Gaines, Courtney Gaines, sorry, Courtney Gaines, who played
Malachi, which
Yeah.
is he's so great. I like
Yeah,
what
I got both of their signatures on the same
Oh, he's the guy that you shit on my house. That
picture. You
just
shit
came
on
out.
my
You
house,
shit
yeah,
on my
from
house.
You Can't Buy Me Love.
You can't buy me love.
Can't
I
Buy Me
love
Love, yeah.
that's how I always remember.
You shit my house. You shit on my house.
You shit on my house.
Yeah,
Oh.
he's been in a lot of stuff. He was Pinocchio in The Burbs.
Yeah, Pinocchio. Hey, Pinocchio.
Hey, Pinocchio.
I know,
Yeah.
we love that.
What other stuff has he done?
got one
We
more
just
toy.
saw him. We just
I
saw
know,
him in
I know.
Colors.
In colors.
Colors. You remember Colors? He was a gangster, and you were like, "Holy shit,
Oh
That's
my
Malachi.
God, he was the worst.
Have you ever seen Colors, that old gang movie with Sean Penn?
Yeah,
Mike?
I've seen it, but I don't remember him.
Dude.
It was so funny because he tries to act all gangster and he's like, dude,
Damon
shut up.
Wayans
You're
is in
Malachi.
it too. Damon Wayans, right?
No, it wasn't Damon Wayans.
Marlo Wayans?
What, in Colors?
Yeah.
Yeah, Damon.
Damon Wayans.
It was Damon. You're
and
right. It was.
he acted like one of the characters in Living Color, the crackhead one.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because I couldn't take him seriously
Yeah, it's
as
hard to take him
a gang member because I was like, he's playing homie, like homie
Homie don't play that. He's
don't
about to hit somebody with a sock.
It was so funny. And then we see Courtney Gaines as a gang member, and that guy is so, like, I don't know, redheaded.
Here is the last toy we're going to show
The
today.
Creepshow.
And this is
Back to-
Father's Day from Creepshow. I want my cake.
Bedelia. Oh, and this is okay. So I have to say this to make this point. The worst death scene in all movie in all time, no matter in the history of horror movies. Ed Harris dies the worst way ever. I mean, there's no other.
Do you remember that, Mike? In Creepshow?
Yeah,
Of course
I
you do.
remember that.
How he just waits and waits for the fucking tombstone is moving like slower than
and
molasses
he doesn't
dripping.
move. He just watches the tombstone slowly.
I can't understand why he didn't move.
I don't know.
You
Understand?
gotta wonder what his direction was there. You know,
That's what I
just
said.
watch-
What is the director saying? Like, okay, you're scared, you're scared, paralyzed, but it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's the worst. 100% number one worst death of all time. I hate that.
It's just,
scene.
it doesn't make sense. I mean, anybody, you always complain about like people not running when Jason's
now I got that
after
song
them.
in my head. Don't let go. Don't let go.
I love
let go,
Creepshow, but
don't let
Creepshow
go.
2 is for where it's at for me.
I'm sorry.
And remember, what's that movie? Oh,
Uh-huh.
I told you about this, but I
What?
just recently at the theater, I went to see The Iron Claw. Remember?
Yeah, but I don't remember that.
Okay. So in the Iron Claw,
Mm-hmm.
you know what movie I'm talking about, Mike? The Iron Claw. It's about the Von Erichs.
Yeah, I saw that it was out. I saw the trailer.
Okay, so listen to this. I'm in the theater, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm watching The Iron Claw. And I'm looking at this fucking guy's face and I'm like, who is this guy? I know this guy from somewhere. But he's old. So I'm like trying to like, okay, this guy's old, but I know him. You know who it was playing the father of the Von Erichs?
Oh.
Sam from Creepshow 2. This hair is
You
going to
should.
get me paid and
Oh,
laid.
that's right. That's
Dude,
right.
When I saw that, I'm like, I know this fucking guy. Who is this? And
That
all of a
face.
sudden, I'm like, that's fucking Sam from Creepshow 2. And then I fucking started Googling in the theater in the middle of the dark, in the middle of the movie. I'm like, I know that's him. I know that's his face.
That's it. Oh, this hair gonna get me paid and laid.
Let me
And it
tell you,
was
I'm just glad the
worst
dude is
wig.
working. I'm glad he's working.
Yeah, it's
that
the wor-
movie's brand new.
That wig is the worst wig in the history of
This
all
hair's-
time. That's the worst wig.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Come on,
this.
fat stuff.
I love
You know I need
this.
my slave everywhere I go. I can't
We
leave my
have
slave
had
behind.
such a fun time talking about Mr. Stephen King. He seems like I think Stephen King would be like a really approachable man.
I think
You
so
know,
too. You know, if you.
I don't
you
think
know-
he's an asshole to his
I'll
fans.
tell you one thing about Stephen King that I've noticed lately. Mm-hmm. He likes to get into shit with people, like on Twitter and shit like that.
He's very responsive to his fans too. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He engages. He
but
actually
he's very
engages with his
political.
fan.
Like he when he doesn't agree with something, he lets you know.
Yeah, he's like Bette Midler, like Hamill. What's Mark Hamill?
Like Mark Hamill,
Yeah, they're very Richard Marx. You know, they're using this X thing, Twitter. You know,
Yeah.
they're out there.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to comment too much on Twitter, but it's not what it used to be.
Yeah. Oh, I don't like Twitter anymore either. I'm never. On
I don't know
there.
what it is.
Like
It's
I said,
not-
I'm only
it's not-
on there
it's
to.
not even Twitter
I'm
anymore.
only on there to stalk your likes, to see who
What?
you're liking, to see who your new friends are, to see everything. I keep an eye on you. I keep an eye on you.
Whatever.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Anyways, Mike, it's been a joy. It's been nice to meet
Hey,
you.
Mike,
I'm so
thanks so
happy
much
you
for
came up
joining us,
from
man.
hell to come and visit with
You better
us.
get back because we're gonna piss off Satan, and that's never a good thing.
So what have
I'm
you?
glad you guys had me.
Yeah, any takeaway from
Can
Stephen King?
I mention one thing before we go?
What?
Okay, I'll let you get your point. I promise.
Okay, baby.
But one thing is, we just saw a movie today. I want to talk about it real quick because we're talking about the devil. So have you heard of this movie called Late Night with the Devil, Mike?
Yeah.
Have
I
you
haven't
seen
it yet? But
Dude,
no, not yet.
it is so good up until the end.
That's what people say.
No. Like halfway through, like we were totally into it, and then it
All of
just
a sudden,
took
it just
a
takes
left
this
turn.
weird turn, and by the end of the movie, I don't know. I would love to hear your opinion, and we're definitely going to have you back on this show when we have another topic that's right up your alley. But
throw us a message. Throw him a message. And watch it.
Well, if you watch it, let me know what you think of the movie because I'm curious. Because, man, I love the movie, but then it takes this turn where you're at the end. You're like, wow.
Because we're watching it, and I just said to Jimmy, I'm like, I'm lost. I'm like, where are they going with this? And he's like, I have no clue. And then it ends, and I'm like, is this the end?
They gotta be going a different. Yeah, I don't want to give you any more than that. It's a fucking
But it
great
wasn't
concept.
the way
I
it
mean,
ended. It was just
summoning the
weird.
devil on a live TV show.
It was a great concept.
Great
I really wanted
concept.
to see it. I quit looking at anything about it online because I saw somebody post a bunch of stills from it.
Just get like a free Shutter. I got a free Shutter trial, 7-day trial, and you can watch
watched it. We just watched it a couple hours ago.
Yeah, like literally today I watched it, and I was like,
I had Shutter before. I don't know if I can get a free trial again.
just make a new email.
Let's get another email. That's what we do.
They're not that smart. They literally just ask you for your email. So yeah, if you just make some bullshit email, you'll be able to get it. But I think it's totally worth you watching. If obviously as a big fan of horror, you're gonna like the whole it reminds me a lot of like the Ensfield poltergeist and some stuff like that, like the the Ensfield poltergeist with the girl. Where the girl,
I like how they said it, and even like Ouija board or a Ouija, the movie Ouija. It was like taking place in like the 60s, the 70s.
So the movie takes place like in the 70s. Yeah,
and so you feel the time period. They did a great job.
They did amazing as far as the time period and everything. They did such a good job. The story was great. Like I said, it was like the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, the last 20
minutes. The last 20 minutes are like, why did you guys do this? In my opinion, why did you do this? You could have done so much more with this.
But like I said, the aesthetic of the film was great.
Yeah,
I like that part.
I loved it.
But everybody, we want to thank everybody for listening.
Thank you so much for listening,
watching.
guys. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube. Please.
All of you,
we're also on Spotify. Apple Music,
Amazon Music, tons, whatever.
We're streaming everywhere.
Now, all you 80s babies, anybody from the 80s who was like our age, you have to tune in for our next podcast.
Right. The next episode is going to be
because it's going to be about the WWF wrestling back in the day.
When it was called the WWF, so we're going to be discussing
Hulk Hogan, Andre
the golden
Giant,
years of the WWF.
The golden years, like when Cyndi
when
Lauper
Hulkamania took off.
Was like, Cyndi Lauper was friends with like Lou Albano, and they were in like her Goonies video,
the first WrestleMania, and how Vince McMahon sorry, that's the alcohol already, sorry guys, but Vince McMahon bought the company from his father and then turned it into a global juggernaut.
Yes. So we're totally going to get
That's going to be the next episode.
But I want to thank Mike Saiten.
Thanks so much
much for taking time out of your weekend.
Absolutely. You've been a huge asset to this episode. We've learned so much from you.
For real.
We will 100%.
Thanks again for having me.
Absolutely, man. Well, 100% we're going to have you guys back. You guys.
Yes.
You too, Gringa. You might be on the show again next time.
Yeah. We're going to end the show, but you stay on. So
for sure. Anyway, guys, like, subscribe, Spotify yourself, Amazon Music yourself. Indulge. We love you guys.
Bye, guys.
Thanks so much for watching. And I hope you enjoyed this.
Yeah.
Meteor shit.
Mucho ecological poncho.